Hello, this is Sheshachalam from Astroguide Mysore. So today let us understand the general predictions of Moon and Rahu. This combination is regarded one of the toughest combinations. I have done the medical astrology part and that too a little bit of it only in that, because we cannot go into all the details in such depth in one video. So I will be doing subsequent videos in the later advanced classes. So Moon, Rahu. Moon is for languages, all the languages, interpretations, fluency of speech, flow of thought. So I am coming into more the physical characteristics of Moon and Rahu here. This is one thing which I have taken because it's very important. And Rahu is interruptions, too many ideas. Rahu should not be always taken as a malefic planet and a bad planet. That is not the way we should study astrology. All the planets have their own, unique quality. So, Rahu, in the sense, is an extremely strong planet. I keep giving the explanation with an example, telling that Rahu is like a powerful engine. When a powerful engine is fitted to a very mediocre vehicle, very old style vehicle, the vehicle will not be able to bear the strength and power of that engine. It will break down. The reverse of it is also useless. That if there is a powerful vehicle with an underperforming engine, once again it's of no use. It looks like a beautiful McLaren, running like a bullock cart. So the point here is Rahu gives extraordinary power, too many ideas, too much of confidence, too much of strength. I want to do this myself. Let me, leave everything, leave the job and do it myself. This sort of strength with Rahu and languages is an extraordinary placement if Rahu and Moon both are well placed, let us say in Taurus. That's the only place where both are very strong. But if it is malefically placed, that means there will be a lot of difficulty in understanding languages, interpretations, comprehensions. The way the person can comprehend a particular situation itself will be so tough because it is Moon Rahu. Journeys and voyages are seen from Moon over the sea, and foreign land is seen from Rahu. So people who are having a good placement of Moon and Rahu can see happy journey and settling abroad. The same thing, if it goes into a bad placement, it looks like that they suddenly get displaced forcefully without their knowledge that it's happening. In many cases, I have seen that a placed and a happy studying child, because of the transfers of their parents, is forcefully subjected to movement from one city to another city. This happens very quite often without even asking the suggestion of the child. The parents will have moved. So let's say he is in the 7th grade or the 8th grade. It's a very important juncture in that particular child's life, and the moment happens, invariably the child goes through a lot of mental stress and might also go become weak in studies because the environment suddenly changes. That's the time when the child was about to make the boy or the girl was about to make good friendships, associations, started to relate with the surroundings, and that's the time when it's plucked off. It's something like a half grown plant plucked and again replanted. Just imagine how much stress the plant goes through. You try it in your garden, you will understand that you need to transplant a pot into a into to the ground in an early stage. You cannot do it once it's a sub-adult stage like a teenager. So this is a stress which a person can go through if Rahu forcefully displaces. If a Rahu forcefully, you know, lays off a person from his job, Moon Rahu can do that. Put a person into deep depression because of a situation like sudden job layoff. So the next point here is Moon is Annasthana, food. Very good catering business can run for a person who has a strong moon. Excellent business of preparing extraordinary dishes. He will be a very good chef if he has a very strong moon or she has a very strong moon in the chart, because the taste buds are good and they know what they are cooking. But the same thing when it is sitting along with Rahu, moon and Rahu together, then it becomes fast food. And if it is well placed, they make a lot of money there. In restaurants, fast food giants, they make a lot of money. But if it is ill placed, then the same person who can be a chef will be addicted to food, gluttony, junk food, too much of eating, and then get into a lot of difficult diseases. So, at one point of time, Moon Rahu gives an opportunity for a person to become an industrialist kind of a thing, and then the same Moon Rahu, if it is bad placed, can throw you from a great height to rock bottom. So, Moon Rahu has to be very clearly studied. So, colors. Moon primarily denotes white, or let us say the other interpretation of purity was white. Nowadays, when somebody talks about purity, we all know that an impurity, which is, something without impurity, is called purity. It is not that white is purity. You can have, if at all, for example, if I give a beautiful pure blue color, it's pure blue. If it is, so there should not be any impurity in that. So this is what is moon. Plain shirts, plain saris, plain dresses with very clear color definitions, this is called moon. So people who have a nice beautiful moon in their horoscope would want their house to be artistically designed with clear color definitions rather than gaudy. But when you come to Rahu, Rahu means overcrowding, a lot of paint work, a lot of ornamental work, decorations, uh, gold studded, kind of little over enthusiastic, what we call as decoration at home, which looks like in each and every corner is furnished, and each and every corner is looked into, and there is not a single space for anybody to do anything. I have an example here, because a person with a strong beautiful moon without the Rahu complication got married into a family, and that girl wanted her own imaginations, her own creations to be implemented into a new house which she and her husband would want to build. But she was not given the space to even think, because all the Rahus there wanted it, they had pre-planned everything exactly. So she was, she was taken aback a little bit that her suggestions were not taken at all. She was new into the family. She married and came into the family, but she did not have that say that she could even suggest something for her own, corner in the house. So try to understand, these are the mindsets which happen, conflicts which happen when a pure moon is subjected to face a Rahu. So, body piercing, body tattoo, nail art, painting, etc., can happen with Rahu. Even, barbells. I don't know all this, but it's still there. I have seen people with, 8 to 10 earrings. All the facial tattoo, all these things can happen with moon and Rahu. Rejuvenation and getting back to shape, taking care of oneself, coming back to in a sane mental attitude and mindset is also moon. A sattvic rejuvenation like naturopathy, following yoga, following a good regime with regard to food habits, sattvic diet, vegetable diet, vegetarian diet. Rahu on the other side is luxury, spa, all sorts of massage therapies, everything what you can imagine the other side. So both mixed together, you can run a fantastic big business. If it is strongly placed, you can run a huge business in this particular, incense sticks are represented by moon, and fragrances and spa is represented by Rahu. You can have a very big spa in a, facing the beach, which is moon once again. So so if it is the other way around, you can see that people will unnecessarily go and overindulge into spas and resorts. Divine looks for moon, and a rigid face and rough face for Rahu. Just imagine both together. If the moon is stronger, then the person will have divinity but with a strong face. If the Rahu is stronger, then the person will have something inside but will not show, because he will be showing his moon face in front. So, this duality can be seen in people with moon and Rahu, where one of the planet is stronger. Usually, it happens. So, simple dressing is what for moon, and complex dressing is for Rahu. And you can understand when moon of beautiful colors is dressing like Rahu with all gaudy patterns. So you can get into that framework and understand how people can dress. So liquor and alcohol business is also controlled by moon. Water business, liquor business, alcohol business, all this is controlled by moon. Your medicines, as I told you in the earlier class. So addiction, impure water, that is stagnant water, all this is shown by Rahu when it mixes with moon. If it is well placed, then these people can have a big factory setup or an industry setup for the same things. They can be very big liquor barons, producing, a lot of alcohol. And, anyway, this world is fully addicted to that particular thing. Very less people don't get into that. Okay, mother Rahu, moon is for mother. And anyway, every time I tell Matrukaraka, Rahu means trouble, and it might be from mother to the native, or from the native to the mother. This has to be understood by placement. This is a little advanced. I will not go into this now. Family is also represented by moon because it is the Karaka for the second house, as a Kutumba Karaka also. Family will go into distress because of the native if this is not well placed. The same family will cause distress to the native if it is differently placed. So please try to understand that there is a lot of ramifications with this moon Rahu combination. So thank you very much for today's class.